Okay, just before this video starts to be the third part of exploring Ottawa, uh, I'm not, if you know me by now, with my own beliefs, I'm not typically, in most regards, a very materialistic guy, but again, that's not me trying to brag, that's just me stating that. But and now that I'm on this journey of mine and I've been traveling nomadically and trying to conserve my money as much as, well, for the most part, as much as possible, except for buying certain necessities and also certain things that I may like, just that I may want, desire. But there, I I had to. I had to. I absolutely had to. The, I had to. There's no way you can tell me that I couldn't. That I just couldn't. There's no way you can argue against me that I did not have to. I look at it. Look at it. I I had to. I had to. There's no disputing. I absolutely had to buy it. I I found this. I found this at a Shoppers Drug Mart. This is, in my personal opinion, the best, and it's October now. It's getting close to, in North America, at least, Halloween. This is the best Halloween mask I've ever fucking seen in my life. I love this. I love the design of, like, I love the design of it, the aesthetic. And I know I literally said in the last, part 2 of exploring Ottawa, the last one, that part of my moral values, I think the use of something should come first rather than the look of it. Which, yes, I bought it because it's a mask. I wasn't planning on dressing up for Halloween, but hey, now that I have this. And also, for a certain job that I may be looking at, possibly, I don't know, I'll explain more of that later on. Maybe not in this video, but at some point in the future. Maybe would be helpful or not, I don't know. But just, I do love the aesthetic of this, just entirely. Like, it's got like this dingy gold color. It's a cat, it's like a feline skull, fangs. It's got like this steampunk, like, design to it. It's like almost like Cybertronic parts and mechanisms, just like they've been melted into the actual skull, or they're like forming into the skull, these like clock gears and stuff. And I think this, and what it feels like an actual like computer chip and bits of like computer circuitry that's been painted over and like it's been glued onto it, and it's got like this, I believe, like some sort of breathing tube, or like a ventilator tube, possibly. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that. And this, it looks incredible. And again, iffy with my ethics and my whole morality crisis. On one hand, I've been having, again, an issues with Halloween in recent years that I've been having, is a lot of costumes are unfortunately made in not so great work conditions. For all I know, it's made in China. This could be made by, that's not me trying to stigmatize Chinese workers. It's probably, I don't know much about the company, but given Shoppers Drug Mart, it's probably wasn't cheap, I'll say that. Well, it's quite possibly made by forced labor workers that are being paid a disgustingly small amount, barely able to, an amount that's not livable, you can't really live off of, and also the potentiality of forced child labor. But then again, to the opposite of that, I also feel there's also you can make the argument that'd be good to actually buy the product. So I'd hate giving money to the corporation that is exploiting their workers like that. But also you make the argument that you're at least using the product that the person made and for all their hard labor, and whoever did make it, you did a fantastic job with it. It is absolutely astonishing. I love it. So I'm completely grateful for it, and I am going to keep this as long as I can. I don't care if it was a possible waste of money. I love this. It is incredible. I may, not even for Halloween, I may just wear it about like when nobody's around. Yeah, it is incredible. I love it. It's even got a deviated septum, just like me. Holy friggin' crap. Okay, so yeah, I'm back here at the Princess Louise Waterfall on another day. As you remember in the last part, I tried to go here, but it was dark out and couldn't actually discern what was out here. But yeah, this is the waterfall, if you can see in here, and my god, that is a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know if the fucking lens flare, I'm gonna try and cover the lens flare. I hope that helps. Look at that. It's not like anything massive in terms of like the water content that's running off of it, but goddamn, its stonework is really highly elevated. It's a lot of it. And I guess that's not a drainage system, that right there. That might just be, I guess, to control the flow of water? I don't know. I'm not I'm not an aquatic engineer or whatever it's called for that. For controlling water flow and water production. But yeah, it's literally right, again, middle of suburban Ottawa in the Orléans district. So actually, now this isn't the area that I want to explore today, but I'm actually gonna, there's a path there and I can't resist. I want to actually go in there and look. I thought I may come back to just do that like a separate video another day, but you know what, fuck it, I'm doing it now. So there's a little path right here off of the sidewalk of the major roadway, and oh well, fucking, so much for not littering. There's literally also a sign out there. This is what I was saying in the other videos about how there's a bit more of a, like, it's a bit more prevalent, the environmental protection work that's here in Ottawa than compared to other cities in Canada, at least from what I've seen. But another demonstration of that is that there is a sign saying $1,000 fine for littering here. Wow, that is a major hill. Okay, getting closer to it. Holy shit, god damn, that is so incredible. And you can walk right, well, clearly somebody tagged it with spray paint, which is pretty, well, kinda, unless, I don't know if this is like a, well, given the name, it doesn't seem like an indigenous heritage site. Maybe it is, and they just changed the name, which is pretty, well, that's racist in and of itself and colonialist. But anyway, I don't know, it just feels disrespectful somewhat, but hey, I mean, clearly you can walk down in it. God damn, look at that. Look, that right there, look at that. To me, that looks like something out of a Tim Burton film production set or something. That's incredible. I'm going down by it. Got down to it quickly enough. Little path. Damn. Holy shit. That's a little, okay, standing where I am now and actually taking a look at that, that's a little bit, because that's directly above me, and all this like erosion of the dirt and soil under here with the roots hanging out, that's a little unnerving, but whatever. Not enough to make me not go closer to here. Holy shit. Again, right by the roadway. That is amazing. Holy shit. I don't know if that's meant to be walked across. I don't think I'm going to attempt that. I could make that jump, but I am not, or maybe, nah, maybe I'm getting a little too confident with that. I'm not at all, especially not with my phone in my hand. I'm not going to attempt to jump that. What the fuck is that? Okay. Again, so much for not littering. That is literally just the body frame of a bicycle. Yeah. Okay, and there's the tire of a bicycle. I don't know what happened. I sincerely hope that it wasn't a bike accident from like all the way up there and someone fell to their demise, like down here. Or severely and permanently injured themselves. My God, that is breathtaking. You know what? I'm gonna make this a spot for me to come back to. I'm gonna come back here quite often and just try and see it during my time here in Ottawa. No matter where I'm like situated in the city, I'm gonna try and actually make time to do that. I'm gonna get one quick shot of up there, and then get going to the place that I actually want to get going to, because I want to try and actually make the footage for this one a little bit. From going forward, I'm gonna try and keep the video lengths of these types of videos a bit shorter. That's probably not going to pan out, but just because my phone, when exporting it, tends to get a bit overheated. So yeah, and it's a bit harder to export. So yeah, okay. All right, I managed to actually get up to the top here over a very steep incline on the hillside. That was a lot harder than I actually thought it was going to be. A lot more tiring. They got a wooden fence here with some metal rails. Damn. That is outstanding. I've never seen, in person at least, I've never seen anything in nature honestly this beautiful. Other than maybe the petroglyphs that were near Crow's Landing when I was staying in it. The indigenous petroglyphs were also incredible pieces of stonework, but I don't personally think they rival this, honestly. Yeah, that's apparent. A little bridge. Let's hope you don't completely cave in. Wow, you got like one fucking metal bar under you. I don't trust you, so I'm going to stand in the complete middle of that. Oh, never mind. That's not a far drop at all. Wow. Was that a little cave? Fuck, they got a little like cave divot down there. That's amazing. I don't know where this little creek runs to, but it's going all the way back into there. Yeah, that's incredible. I'm gonna come back here at some point. Alright, that's enough. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm fucking hungry. There's another waterfall on the same road in the middle of the suburbs. Or either that, or it's a different end, a different section of the Princess Louise waterfall. And literally, if you remember from the last video, where I stopped at one point, birdhouses, or bird feeders, I guess more so. I couldn't see in the dark, but they look more like bird feeders. I was standing right by a waterfall, and I didn't even notice it. I was literally standing right here, in the dark. I don't even remember hearing, like, the rush of the water. Damn. So now, I'm back in the area that I wanted to be in for today. I'm quite worn out, because it was a bit of a long walk, but yeah, well, let's just continue on. So, I don't know, while I was walking, I got a lot of thoughts racing through my head, and as I usually do, I'd seemingly never stop questioning things, just psychologically. But, yeah, there were a lot of things that I guess, I don't know if I'll talk about them here. There's some things I'll touch on, but again, like I said, I'm gonna try and keep most of these, like, me recording footage for these videos, I'm gonna try and keep it at a more minimalist than the previous videos. or like, yeah, just minimal. Like the least amount of time. Well, not the least amount of time, just maybe around like 50 minutes long to an hour, or 45, just somewhere around that. But yeah, sorry if I just sound a little worn out now. I'm also quite hungry because I have not eaten anything today. So I'm gonna go get some food now. Yeah. So this is just a more typical suburban section of Orleans. As you can tell, a lot of the leaves on most of the surrounding tree life in the area is starting to change color. Some not, and that could be because of global warming, potentially, or climate change. I'm not entirely sure. Again, not a botanist or a botanologist, but the sun is once again just the sun is once again just blasting hot, and it's actually hotter than it was the day I recorded the first one of these. On my way to Place d'Orleans. So yeah, and it's literally, and it's not just because I'm wearing my like fucking sweater and coat. I know it might seemingly be why, but I've been outside without it, and yeah, I'm sure obviously this is making it hotter for myself, temperature wise, but even without it, it'd be quite blazing. So yeah. What to talk about now? My thoughts were pretty scattered, actually, because I was thinking about a lot of stuff walking up here. Well, I guess one demonstration would be, so what I'm walking by right now is a school, and I believe, from what I remember walking by it, the school actually has a Quebecois French name. As if you don't know, I discussed how a lot of this, at least this just district of Ottawa, as far as I've seen, has a lot more Quebecois French speakers than any other part of Canada I've seen, either through my own research online or just like from where I've been, especially like say in Toronto or Peterborough, things like that. This has the most. Yes, I think it's, well, that sign out front of it is Une explosion de Kilibus. I can't read, again, can't pronounce the French, but all the signs out front of it are French first. But I don't know the name. Oh, no, there's the name. Yep, it is. It has a, oh, it's a, it might be, no, it's a Catholic school. Yep. I'm gonna try and read it. It's got the cross, and yeah, it's in French. École élémentaire catholique Arkansas. Again, I can't fully read it. But, yeah. So, as you can tell, it just looks like any other. You know what? I might wait a bit to get to like a bit more active section of the district, because right now it's just, well, standard Canadian suburb. Cars, people walking to and from school, a crossing guard, yeah, and just trees. So, hold on a sec. Okay, well, that sucked. That didn't go how I expected it to. Okay, so I've gone over to this this rather large stretch of parkland here with these high voltage electricity, hydro towers. And I am, as I said, hungry. I'm also thirsty. I tried to eat some of the, as I've said before, just bountiful amounts of sumac that are growing in the suburbs here in the Orleans district, but that is the only sumac shrub around right now, and it's fucking dying, so it tasted like crap, so I had to spit it out. Okay, so trying my best to stay concentrated here, but so right here is a long stretch of park, and I guess I should talk about these hydropoles. Now, there were similar things as well. It's at not really in Toronto, more so parts that I saw of Markham and the city of Markham and Oshawa, where there'd be stretches of greenery like this in a park, but they'd be at certain points in them, just along the way, there'd be these towers that fuel electricity to most of the surrounding area. At least, well, yes, obviously, unless it's going to some major factory of some kind, which I highly doubt. They provide, well, power to a lot of the electrical units around here. But the problem is, from what I found out and researched a long time ago, still have known, is that though they may, I don't know if it's, I'm not an electrician, so I don't know if it's more beneficial to actually have it set up like this in the middle of the suburbs for just like transmitting electrical power from one grid to another. But in terms of, well, human health, I'm probably animal health as well, but for people living in the nearby areas, it's not exactly the most beneficial thing. Yeah, maybe for their power running to their homes, but in terms of their like physiological health, there have been reports in many areas around the world of living close to high density electrical grids or electrical circuitry that it can cause quite an array of problems, or higher risk of developing many health-related issues. In terms of neurology, it's been known to, because my knowledge is more neurology and things like that and psychology, it's been known to cause or worsen epileptic seizures. Not cause epilepsy more so, or at least as far as I'm aware, but it's been known to actually make symptoms of epilepsy increase or far worse. There's also, at points, there have been reports of higher cases of depression, like clinical depression, things like that, or even general depressive disorders. Just living close to an area like this. Oh God. Hungry, thirsty, out of breath. And also, what other neurological functionality issues has it been known to cause? Or at least reports have been higher in the areas where people live closer to them. Oh, cognitive confusion, brain fog has been reported as well. Certain amounts of memory issues in more high-density electrical fields, or as well as apparently certain gastrointestinal issues, possibly just digestive upset. Heart palpitations, I guess, in cardiology have also been reported. I don't know if more specific for like hematology, which is the, well, study of specifically the blood and blood disorders, not really the circulatory system, or it's a specialty, it's a subspecialty of, it's a very specified field of cardiology. But heart palpitations would be one, or heart arrhythmia, and things of the sort. So yeah, not exactly. Oh, and also some bouts of, I guess, feelings of dizziness. That's another neurological one. Maybe, I don't know, reports as well of ataxia, which is, well, unsteadiness, unsteady balance. And also, should probably clarify, in terms of neurology, there is a difference between dizziness and ataxia. Whereas dizziness is more so the, well, it involves the cerebellum and like balance in relation to balance in your center of gravity, but in terms of, oh, there's something I could actually show, but let me just finish what I'm saying. In terms of, and also this is like, I think this, yeah, this is the church that I filmed in my, at the little clip at the end of the Made to Ottawa video with the scary looking statue on it. Or where was I? Oh yeah, ataxia and dizziness. Dizziness is more so the visual distortion of motion, like your surrounding areas, and your sense of your sense of surrounding, and depth perception, and motion in your depth perception, or motion in your surrounding being distorted. But ataxia is not. It can include dizziness, but not most. But it doesn't. It doesn't have to. Where it's just you're feeling off kilter balance, and also just having distorted balance in and of itself, which many times can make you dizzy. And also can trigger, which also caused by most of the cerebellum and bits of the occipital lobe, technically, and also like the inner ear nerves that run to the cerebellum, and also the occipital lobe. Vertigo, which would be the basically pretty much a form of dizziness where your view, like motion of like this, your motion of, well, your visual sense of the surrounding area is, the motion is started to feel like a tipping feeling of the world, basically, as if it's tipping or caving inwards almost. It can be both, either both or one of the two for vertigo. But this, let me explain this since I was walking by it. Now, these are actually fairly common here in Canada. Community little library and pantry. That's weird wording. It probably should be little community library and pantry, unless this nickname for this little community is little. Okay. Anyway, so, and I'm pretty sure that America, it's probably most definitely common in America too, and probably maybe Europe as well. Not entirely sure, and probably parts of Southern Africa, like South Africa and Namibia and things like that, and probably Lesotho and Eswatini. But this is obviously, it's literally just a free public library. You can take whatever books you want to read, and you don't even, well, technically it's recommended. I guess the idea would be that you return them, but most people don't return them. And in the past, I'm guilty of this. Sorry. And oh, what am I saying? Yes, America has these. Okay, in my old city in Fargo, they had, well, at least one of these. Just jogged my memory. So yeah, they have this, but I've never seen this really before, which is, I think, actually a pretty good idea in many regards. Now, so literally, it's just canned food that's placed out for, well, homeless population, or the poor population, or people who can't exactly afford to go to more grocery stores that often, for food to just grab and go. And it's mainly stuff that can be preserved in pantries, or stuff that can be preserved by canning it. So it's like beans, salmon. I don't think they should maybe leave that out in the sun like this. But there's cranberries. There's macaroni. At least I think. Yep, that's macaroni. And there's a ketchup on here. Now, yes, there's some tea. Literally. Also, some people may just. The downside is, obviously, something like this, I don't think there's much funding towards this. So, and if it's just like, if it is donations, yeah, great. But again, it comes down to people's actual willingness. Is if they're just giving like the bottom of the barrel nutritional sustenance, then it's, well, it's good that they have something to eat, but fucking shows if people don't actually care to give them anything more beneficial than just, say, pasta or literally fucking ketchup. Literally, okay, this one actually kind of makes me mad. Like, why what is that? Is that mayonnaise back there? What, or ranch? What person who's starving is like, yeah, I'm just gonna down a bottle of ranch? Or if they're thirsty, if they're getting to excessive thirst, like, they're not, maybe we'll be tempted to down it, but it's not gonna do you much. It's very thick, and like, it's a very viscous liquid? Viscous. Yes, viscous is the thicker. It's very thick liquid, basically. Almost like a liquidy paste. So, yeah. It's pretty cool. I have enough funds, though, because as I've said, I consider myself semi-homeless, and though would be considered impoverished, I am not taking any of this. There are people who need it way more than me, because I can actually afford to still keep up with buying a certain amount, amounts of food, probably a plethora of amounts of food, at least still from what I have, what I have saved up with me in my accounts. So yeah, it's a good idea, though. At least I think most of the concept would be a pretty good idea. But then again, like I said, people's attitudes towards it, that may differ. Okay, so I'm gonna get down a bit more of a ways to more of the area that I actually really truly wanted to show, and then yeah, get something to eat, and to drink. Oh, and that actually can maybe lead into something else I might want to talk about, because I'm going to go to a specific bakery that I've discovered here in the last, ever since getting to Orleans. It's really damn good. And there's just a fucking seagull chilling there. Hey, how you doing? Caw. God, I am getting worn out. Okay, so what I'm coming up on here is another major business sector of the Orleans district of Ottawa. And this area right here is what, on the maps, at least from what I've seen, would be considered central Orleans. Like, it's the very center of the district. So the places that I showed, like Place d'Orleans and all that, and the Waterfall, that's all more towards that direction, so the northern end of the district, closer to, okay, very loud car, very bougie looking car as well, very loud, not loud, what am I saying, closer to Quebec, that way. This is also, I believe, if it is for Islam, yep, it's a mosque. It's a very nice looking mosque, seemed. I mean, it's kind of bland looking at points, but looks nice enough. Better than most of the churches I've seen around here. It's not me trying to be prejudiced, I'm just saying, like, my personal taste of the architecture. Oh, a bracelet. So, this is just a major plaza. It's got a metro, it's got a Starbucks, all that. I'm just gonna walk along the grass here. And, sorry, I just didn't want to get in that person's way while they were crossing, but anyway, so as I said, I'm headed towards a bakery. It's called Alibaba's Bakery, and it's themed for food. It's cuisine more Middle Eastern and Northern African, or / Northern African cuisine. I don't know if it's specific, like, it's mainly just generalized in what it seems to sell. I don't know if, I looked it up because they specialize they make, like, pies of some sort. It's not really, like, not pizza, but more folded on, like, pita bread folded into what they call a pie. Just a bread pie, basically. And it specializes in using in a lot of their recipes a spice called Za'atar, I believe. His name is Za'atar. And basically, from what I looked up, that spice is common in much of the Islamic world, and, mainly Northern Africa and Western and Central Asia. But it's especially, apparently the spice is especially, I didn't know about this spice before, until I started looking into it, and I actually ate there for the first time. It's very popular in, from what it looked like, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya, or the three main countries that it's culturally more predominant in. But they make damn delicious food, very healthy food for the most part. They do use a lot of oil, but I actually tried applying there or not applying, I tried asking if they were looking for anyone for hire, and they just took down my name and basically said, we have some people lined up, but if we need anyone else, we'll call. Again, now with my experience as working in that restaurant in McCracken's Landing, should help, or at least should give me more in their, maybe in their eyes, credibility in terms of experience. But anyway, their food is delicious. I don't know how they treat their workers. They seem to treat them rather well from what I saw. I don't know if they seem like a small business. I don't even know if they're a franchise of any kind. Yeah, really damn good food. I don't know if like the owners or whatever even just try and distribute their wealth evenly to their employees. I don't know. But they are very generous with the food, because I remember I walked in one time and someone didn't actually, as is common in a lot of Islamic culture, or in people who practice what is more dictated in many parts of the Quran, they actually did give food for free, or they give like 1 time or 2 time free food, or if you don't have enough, they make sure that you can at least get something, which I find very good. I don't know what's going on down there. That's, well, someone's getting away with the drugs. Keep running, I guess, or I don't know the situation. Yeah, so this is just the more center area now. I don't know if they're coming back this way. This is the more center area of the Orleans district. I'm gonna cross over there, get to, and there's also like a veterinary hospital over there. There's a gas station behind me, what looks like a tour bus or just a camping RV. God, I am so fucking thirsty and hungry. So I'm gonna stop recording right now and actually go get fucking something to eat at that bakery. So yeah. Alright, so I got to the bakery and got something to eat, as you can see. So this is what I was talking about, the Za'atar pie. Really fucking delicious. That's what it looks like. Or what Za'atar, well, it has sesame seeds in it, but I don't know what plant Za'atar comes from, or how it's a concoction of other spices and herbs to just make that spice. I'm not sure. It's like just a mixture, like a spice mixture. But it is absolutely delicious, especially on this pita bread. And it's really damn good with mango juice. It's funny, since I've been coming to this place, on occasions, since I've actually been here in Ottawa, it's got me, they sell, well, this kind of mango juice, and then another one that's mango nectar, which is, in my opinion, no, that's the first time I've tried this one. It's better. That one, the bottle's actually holding. It's keeping the camera. It's acting as like a backrest for my phone. I think that one is much better tasting than this, because that one is actually, it's clearly authentic, like mango juice, like straight the nectar, because it's a bit more like thicker, a bit more viscous, as I just looked up. Yes, that word, I was correct. That liquid, viscous liquid is like when it's a thicker consistency than water. And I think mobile is like, a mobile liquid is like anything that's of the consistency of water, or like just as translucent. This one isn't bad, but it's clearly got like added sugar to it, like some artificial sweetener to it, and it's more liquidy. That one was more thick. Here, it's this one. Not a promotion for the brand, but interestingly, it's made in Egypt. It's imported from Egypt. It's very delicious. Know nothing about the company though, so. And I also got a spinach pie, because I'm hungry, haven't eaten anything all day. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know what you else want. I don't know what else you want from me right now. I'm hungry. I was saying, this combination, Za'atar on pita bread and mango juice, is delicious. It gives the already, like, somewhat tangy Za'atar. It's not spicy, but it's not hot or anything. It's just like a savory, like a tangy and a salty type taste. That compared with the sweetness in the mango juice is incredible. And also might just be because I am very thirsty. Also, I should say, probably, in my opinion, mango juice is probably the best fruit juice. Just for me personally. Maybe because I'm a sugar addict, but that's also what I wanted to talk about with this. So I remember, if you recall, and if you've seen my part 2 of this series, towards the end I talked about how basically, well, it's kind of really odd sense of deja vu. Okay, deja vu done. Don't know why that just all of a sudden triggered. Anyway, I talked about a method for probably don't want to say it very loudly in here, but PA addiction, or PORN addiction, and I talked about it for people who suffer with it. I talked about it in part 2. Excuse me, but that's not something I suffer with. Something, however, I have recently mentioned is that I do suffer with sugar addiction. But and I talked about it in one of my before leaving the cottage, well, 2 actually. My before leaving the cottage videos. That over the summer, and I'll go more in depth about more of my diagnosis, because I went in somewhat depth about talking about my psychiatric diagnosis of somatization disorder, or somatic symptom disorder, and somatoform dissociation, clinical depression, and all that I have, and the depressive symptoms associated with somatoform disorder. But so my psychosomatic illness, and I've already detailed most of it, like in my suicidal ideation video and stuff like that. But I mean, now that it is confirmed to be psychosomatic, which at the time, though it was heavily thought it was, wasn't concretely confirmed, at least in my opinion. But now it very much is. Anyway, but another thing I mentioned was how I am also very definitely a sugar addict. I suffer with, and I've already talked about it, I don't believe my addiction stems from trying to absolve my depression, or absolving loneliness, or trying to comfort internalized trauma of any kind, or I'm not trying to relieve pain of it. Most often, I guess, when I eat excess amounts of sugar. Obviously, sometimes people stress. I stress sometimes, and I guess it could be subconsciously more of a comfort food. But anyway, I think mine just more stems from overactivity, and what addiction is mainly related to areas of the brain such as the striatum being affected, which is the pleasure center, that controls a lot of the emotional response for desire, or a want, desire and pleasure. It also well, it plays a part in sexual function as well, things like that. But anyway, it's heavily overactive in instances of addiction many times. But I think mine is more so it's just my body really craves it, because of, as I talked about, years of basically being, well, whole year and a half of starving basically from not eating many things and include sugar. But anyway, one thing that I've actually somewhat found that could possibly help it, or at least has helped me, has been things like mango juice, which are more natural mango juice that has actually a lot of natural sugar in it. This one obviously has added, but that one behind the camera that I showed was more natural. It didn't have much, or at least if I'm remembering correct, it didn't have much added sugar. The grams. Natural, no less than 30% sugar. Yep, at least from what it's saying. Now again, companies lie. They could be lying about that, but I'll take his word for it in this instance. I've actually found that my personal cravings towards higher foods with higher glucose content have been less, actually, from drinking more fruit juices that are higher in natural sugar content, that are a lot sweeter, and are also more, in terms of health benefits, more the more beneficially impactful for you. They have a greater they have greater physical benefits for you in terms of their like natural compound properties. So a possible idea is that if you're struggling with that type of addiction, you could try mango juice or any other more any of fruit juices that are higher in natural sugar. So something along those lines. But either way, right now, I've just been fucking enjoying it. That's kind of amazing. Up behind me here is focus. It's just in another plaza for this bakery, and is in a plaza that's still in the center of Orleans. But there's something I should say I've noticed a lot here in the Orleans district of Ottawa. Again, I don't know the rest of Ottawa yet, but so far what I've seen, there seems to be, and I'll probably show it when I leave, a plethora of chocolatier shops. Just a whole like surplus of them, just all around, especially in the higher, more the areas with higher density of like businesses and establishments. There's just this one, like there's a chocolatier shop right across the road. There were two in Place d'Orleans. I think I thought I saw one down a ways that way somewhere. So yeah, there's quite a few. Which is more than I've actually seen, like within a certain radius. I count that as like a plethora, not a lot of them. So that's at least more than I've ever seen in terms of Canada have many chocolatier shops like around. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my food and then get going. Yeah. Alright, so I just sat in there a little longer, just let my phone get some charge, and the outlet they had right beside the booth area. But now that I've gone outside, I was just walking along the little sidewalk here, and I noticed this cute little...
We got the special food for Burmer. Happy meal!
Okay. Well, I guess those they got the special food for Murmur. I guess they I don't know if the camera picked that up or not, but there was a what looked to be a mother and her child just walking. That's a seagull walking along the side. Whatever. There's another veterinary clinic just right beside me here. Anyway, that thing right there, slang term I've known here in Canada is we call them usually stink bugs. So it's a cute little stink bug. I don't know what their actual like entomological, well, yeah, it's entomological term for their species is, but yeah, it's a cute little bug. But anyway, so this is the outer area of this little plaza. Got the bakery that I was just in, Alibaba's bakery. So you got again, like I said, I guess a gym there of some kind. You got an animal hospital here. There's a dentistry clinic there. I don't know what, oh, I guess healing, that might be a physiotherapy place. It's chiropractic, fuck, what's the, there's a chiropractor's office there. Chiropractic, oh, for fuck's sake. Chiropracti. That's not the official terminology for it. I don't know. A chiropractor's place. That's where you go to fix your, try and help heal spinal injuries or help with spinal discomfort. There's I believe it might be a Taiwanese restaurant right there, but anyway, and another freaking suburban fruit tree. Now I don't know, these look a little different than crab apples, so I have not attempted to eat these yet. You can see they got little white spots on its body. Is more of a, well, it's rounded like a crab apple, but they're a little smaller, it looks like, and they're also more of a deeper purplish red, like a dusty looking red color. So yeah, don't know if these are technically crab apples as well, but I have not attempted to eat them yet. And there's another one right here. But anyway, there's more high voltage electrical towers running along this area. There's some more what would be apartment buildings just along that way, smaller apartment buildings. Some of them are under construction, they're putting in more. I don't think, well, they're probably too low technically to be considered condos. Well, maybe some of them, I don't know. All I know is about the terrible capitalist operation of most condo property usage, buying up more land just to put more on it and then extract the value from it and rack up prices of the actual condos because of the value that it gets on the market. But anyway, this is what I was talking about. Hey, I didn't do it, I swear. Wait, was that even a, I don't even know if that was, okay, that might have said paramedic on the side, I don't know. No clue. But this, what I was talking about, is the chocolatier shop. 1979. Oh, wow. Very old. And from a sugar addict's perspective, as I just said, even for me, this place looks a little sickly sweet. I mean, I haven't gone in there to try anything, even though, well, probably won't, because most of their menu options look like it's either milk or dark chocolate, or even red velvet chocolate, which I tried to avoid. Oh, God. No matter where you go, so many just major metropolitan areas, people love just flashing their expensive blingy cars. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Come on. Yeah, I think that was also them that honked at this person literally just waiting innocently to cross or turn on the road. Anyway, this deny care. Are you fucking serious? That was unnecessary. Also unnecessary. Unnecessary. Further unnecessary. You are. God. Conceited jackass is what you are. Anyway, eye care center. That's probably an optometrist or an ophthalmologist office, and also just glasses, sale of glasses. Anyway, I try and avoid milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and red velvet ever since the caffeine overdose that I suffered from back in, well, 2020, as I've discussed before. The only chocolate that I actually still eat is white chocolate, which I still love and is delicious. But if I had to pick, my favorite chocolate would definitely be, of course, it's going to make me sound even more vanilla than I already am in most of my tastes, dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate. Anyway. Oh yeah, and I also avoid double chocolate. By the way, hot take, double chocolate is literally just sweetened dark chocolate. Change my mind. I dare you to. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's here. There's a lot more restaurants on this side as well. The Barley Mo, I don't know. I haven't been able to get a good look inside. I don't know if it's a Jamaican or a Caribbean just themed restaurant, or if it may be maybe a British themed. God, people, Christ. Are you fucking... really? There's no need. God, people's fucking egotistical sides. My God. And just fucking... well, vanity if they are self-obsessed. And also histrionic if they're actively trying to show off to seem better than others. But yeah, I don't know if this is an English themed restaurant or a Caribbean themed restaurant, Jamaican themed restaurant, I'm not sure yet. There's a Farm Boy grocery store over there, another one. Haven't been inside one of those yet. They look like, again, they have more organic based foods. Some people I know have gotten a lot more products from there, and they're really good tasting from what I've had of them. But I haven't been in there yet. There's a Mandarin Restaurant over there, which is more authentic Chinese food. Granted, I went, actually, a few nights ago, I went in there by myself and ate in there. It was delicious, and it's a buffet, for those who don't know, and I really love the aesthetic of the place. Because they also, at the entrance, they have koi fish. Now, it looks like the koi fish are being treated well. Then again, it is a very small space that they swim in. I don't know. I don't know if there's more of a water system that runs underneath the actual floor that they can swim through. But anyway, really delicious. A lot more authentic, Eastern Asian and Southeast Asian food. But it also has a mix of more Americanized Chinese food, which unfortunately is more common in all of North America, is the Americanized versions of Chinese food, and I guess the Canadianized versions, which, again, there's nothing terribly wrong with that. It's just, it's over there are many restaurants that push it as being authentic Chinese when it's really not. Anyway, oh, interestingly enough, actually, I should talk about, I guess, some bit of a segue. I went in there, and all the staff were really friendly and really nice, but I was actually, now, I don't, again, going off of the capitalist model of pretty well all the world, I don't know if what the pay is like at Mandarin. I don't know if the workers well, they're being exploited in a sense by wearing the uniforms, being forced to wear uniforms that, well, to promote the company's likeness, and also if they're encouraged more to speak well on behalf of them, some form of coercion. But in terms of pay, I don't know what they're being paid. I don't know what like the standard wage of working at Mandarin is. It may be just the minimum wage of whatever administrative district of a country you live in is, or the national minimum wage or whatever. I don't know, but interestingly enough, the method that I actually do like, which is in some sense still a bit nasally from the cold a few days ago. It's more of it's more communistic in a sense, or at least socialistic. Is the fact that, and I was actually wondering this because of the buffet, they didn't have prices listed for any of like the items, because for what you, at least when in the area you could take it from the buffet. So I actually asked one of the waiters how is the payment method going to be, if there isn't any display for like the pricing. And they just said, oh, it's gonna, at the end, like, you can get as much as you want. At least is what it seemed to be after I paid. Just take as much as you want, and there'll be just a total price at the end. So one singular price. And I thought, really? Wow, that is actually really incredible. Some form of, I guess you could consider price regulation, or at the very least, like, what it would be a standardized price. Now, for some items I saw on the menu, like certain drinks, if you wanted to buy the bottles, it would be a different, like for wine and stuff like that, which they had a lot of, which I didn't try because I didn't feel like it, and I don't personally drink. You could buy bottles, but they weren't the total price at like what the restaurant's total price for most of the menu items were at the buffet. It was just like, it was a different price basically. But at least some form of price, like standardized price margin, basically. Now, that would be great, if, in my opinion at least, again, if I'm logically speaking here, the rest of the country and the world in the economic sector actually operated in that sense of a nationalized wages, nationalized standard wage, and also regulation of prices. Not one set price or everything, depending on how much money is conserved, and like, well, if we're talking in more of a, well, if we're talking in, if there's a set form of trade currency, currency that's able to be traded on like a national level, well, then if we're talking that, and there's like excess amounts of it that's being regulated by the government and being held on to in terms of like a Federal Reserve of some kind or some sense. Again, I'm speaking from more of a libertarian perspective, so still some form of government, not an overly encroaching one in terms of police and dictated laws, but you get what I'm saying. Not like a national price for every single thing in the country, but regulation of prices depending on either the business or the product of it. And I guess, well, technically, if that were to be true and there wasn't any, like, well, there'd be more government control over federal spending, and, well, of course there would be a control over spending in business sectors and the economic sectors and redistribution of wealth. Well, then there wouldn't be the stock market. So, anyway, there'd basically just be parts of the system would be set up, at least in what I would see logically to be in that sense, set up to basically determine which products, and based on their value and demand, which ones the prices would be set for. Well, what the prices would be for each product because of, well, the amount that is actually the amount of resources that they have for said product, basically. So it also contributes to like resources, like environmental resources and social resources too. How much of a reserve there is for, because we don't, despite what some people think, the world does not have infinite resources for many things. So yeah, there's some form of regulation of the price of said items, and definite regulation. Well, yes, regulation of price and definite regulation of wage. But anyway, I just thought that was a good enough. I just thought that bit of their system was good. Again, Mandarin is a fairly large size. I'd say it's fairly. It's a bit of a larger franchise. It's not like a mega corporation, no. But it's up there. It's fair enough in size, and how much it in its expansion across Canada, at least. So yeah. So it's a fairly large-sized corporate conglomerate. But yeah, so I don't know if that said set price for the buffet and what they accumulate from that. I don't know if basically. Well, I don't know if they actually redistribute a fair enough portion or a sustainable portion to their employees with that price, is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm tired right now. Let me flip the camera and get across the road. Okay. So yeah, I think you probably, well, if you share a more communistic mindset, or if you are a socialist or communist of some kind, or I guess even an anarchist, or, well, maybe libertarian communist, yeah, you may understand what I'm talking about, or what I was talking about with that. But yeah, I am tired. In the bakery, as you saw, I ordered 2 mango fruit drinks. It was just well, one was actually natural mango nectar, straight from the fruit, or at least as it promised, and the other one was mango, but it was more pureed and had like some artificial sugar added to it, or artificial sweetener substance. But while there, I said about how it actually has somewhat been helping my sugar addiction, or at least my symptoms of it, which is true. But then after I had drank both of those, I ordered an apple juice that was from the same company that made the more artificially sweetened mango juice that I was drinking there, and I still have it in my backpack, like the remaining amount that I didn't drink, because, well, basically I bit off more than I could chew, and it started to feel sickly sweet. And also that I'm definitely not ordering their spinach pies anymore. Nothing wrong with them, like in terms of taste. It's just, God, there's a lot of cooking oil in it. Just for me personally. So yeah, so my method of drinking like more fruit juices that have like naturally a bit more naturally based sugars in them, it's a method, but it's not like everything in life. It's not a foolproof method. So yeah, no cars across here. Yeah, okay. Feels somewhat weird whenever I just bolt. Even when I'm not holding the camera, I bolt across roadways now most often. When there's like not a high density of people around, so like I could just get across quicker, so that the oncoming traffic doesn't have to like worry about me just holding them up. like, oh my god, just go faster, when they're trying to get they're trying to get moving. And I know that's not entirely my fault, as people can be impatient, but whatever, it's just, I feel safer doing it anyway. Yeah. I guess the best way I could describe that, that Middle Eastern / Northern African, bakery is, and it's a fantastic place, like, in terms of food. It's the best way I could describe it. If anyone's ever in, like, the Orléans district and wants to check it out, hey, Alibaba's Bakery just gave you some free fucking advertising. Not sponsored, so there you go. And by that I mean now pay me a lot, pay me like half of the money that your franchise and or small business is making. No, don't actually. Well, I mean, great, yeah, if you did, but don't, you never mind, you know what I mean, don't do that. Anyway, so if you're ever in the Orléans district of Ottawa and you want to check out that bakery, the best way I could describe it is, okay, the best way I could, and I don't mean this as an insult, even though it may sound insulting, because I have major issues with the corporation that I'm, like, the restaurant franchise that I'm going to compare it to. I'm going to stop right here quick. It's not even a crosswalk, it's literally just divot to drive into the little gas station here. Divot in the sidewalk, so basically, but I'm just not going to cross yet. It's, yeah, just no. Oh, wait. Oh. Guess those people have the exact same method as me. Just literally, well, that wasn't even at the crosswalk there, just bolt across the road. But basically, the best way I could describe them is like a Middle Eastern or Northern African version of Subway, which I don't mean that as an insult, despite, in my opinion, Subway being a horrendous restaurant entity that's just, again, major contributor to destroying a lot of middle-class lives with having a mass monopoly over the fast food industry, and just fucking, and their food, though being in some regards, yes, healthy, is not really kept as well as it could be, like in terms of preserving it as other places, even in the fast food industry. And basically their bread being nothing more than just some flour and a whole load of like a sugar substance or like sugar solution. So but anyway, no, I mean just in terms of like the speed and like, I guess the presentation of like not the aesthetic of the place, well, somewhat of the aesthetic. Obviously, again, it has, Alibaba's bakery has like that bakery had obviously a Middle Eastern such, it had more of an Islamic cultural feel to it, basically. Or what's part of the Islamic world, for the most part, or common in those sections of the world, sections. But yeah, and just in terms of, I guess, like, in terms of cooking, it's a million times better, like, a billion times more authentic than Subway. Authentic and actually, like, fresh ingredients from what I've seen, but yeah, that's just the best thing I could compare it to. So, again, anyone who works there, don't take it as an insult. Alright. Ding! You too, car wash. I don't know what the fuck that was. So, this way is going to more of a roundabout. There's just a little... It's a space of empty land. Of course, it's a site of your future homes. Yeah, probably some... realtor company, or, well, not realtor, but housing company that's just, again, taking up more land for profit, or literally just holding on to that land and not actually going to be building any homes there for a while, just until the value goes up. Again, I don't know, but that's just an assumption. Anyway, so this is just going off of the more busier area of the center of Orleans. This is now towards the, well, this way, that direction. It's more towards the south end of the Orleans district. There's a paper, is that plastic? That is a plastic bag. I'm tempted to take that off of the tree. I don't know if I want to touch it, considering I don't have gloves. Okay, well, you know what? Fuck it, I'm touching it. I don't care. Come here. Whatever. I can wash my hands, and I have hand sanitizer. And I'll wash my tripod. I don't care. I'll hold it like this, and I'll find a recycling bin somewhere around here, at the very least, the garbage, even though it's not supposed to go in the standard garbages for just standard waste, but whatever. I don't want it being stuck to that fucking tree. Again, that's my logical morals there. What I morally feel would be right to not, if you can, obviously you can't pick up every bit of litter that's in solo, most likely in a city or a town. It's just, if it's causing a big enough distress, then yes, you should try to. But anyway, that's what I did. That could segue into me talking about something else. What would that be? Well, I guess I could actually speak right now, is that, again, I apologized in the first Exploring Ottawa video, and I'm sorry if I'm a bit slower at, like, if I'm having a bit more word-finding issues or articulation issues with my speech. Yeah, or just struggling, I guess, to come up with things to talk about right now. My cognition in terms of, like, brain fog, it's been bothering me the last few days. I've been a bit worried about it. Nothing like to a major extent. It might, my psychosomatic illness, it might just for some reason be acting up like it was in Toronto again. I don't know why after all these months now. It is. Maybe it's because there have been people close to me recently who've had COVID. I, again, never caught it. At least as all tests have indicated so far, haven't contracted it. But I did have a cold. And I learned as well recently, which I had somewhat known before, but I looked into it more in depth for immunology, is that... Oh, don't worry, people, I'm not crossing. For immunology, and, well, virology it would be as well, is that basically colds and fevers of the sort, influenza and other, like, contracted viral infections that can cause your body to go into a fever type state, with chills and profuse perspiration in terms of sweat, to try and relinquish the virus from your body. It can muddle cognition in ways, or it can at least slow mental agility and, like, mental sharpness. So, which, again, I had somewhat known before, but more in depth I didn't know it can cause it, like, some people to a more, to a bit of a larger extent. Obviously I'm able to hold up fine here, but again, combined with my blurred memory issues, because of, again, psychosomatic illness, dissociation, all that, well, basically it's not been fun. And it's a bit harder for me right now to grasp, like, what I'm trying to say, or even, I guess, think about. Hello, police. Okay, I don't want to be prejudiced right now. Yes, obviously we all can tell like my hate for the police system, but I don't know them individually, so I just was keeping an eye for a sec. I don't know why. That was a rather loud Tesla. Huh, interesting. So yeah, I guess I'll just say that. I apologize for that. I'm sure it'll bounce back to normal eventually. Oh, actually, here are a few things that I can talk about in the moment. Let me just get across this roundabout. What? That, okay, there's something to talk about. Buddy, I don't think that's... Maybe you have no other method of transporting that, but it's not the best option. They probably know that. Whatever. Alright, just walked across that. So something I should actually talk about is, I've been mentioning in the last two videos, me being here in Ottawa, that I wanted to try and get to... Yeah, why don't I cross right here? There's no... Never mind. Are you turning? No, you're not. Okay. Go, 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 go. I've mentioned in the last few videos that I've been trying to just get a physical from a doctor. Recently, trying to get, go to walk-in clinics just to get a physical to see how, if everything's nominal, anything I should be paying more attention to just for general health reasons. And my psychosomatic neurological problems. But the thing is, as you saw in part 2 of this series, the urgent care clinic by Place d'Orléans that I tried to get to was closed. And so earlier today, I went there to the same one, and it was open, but apparently they're only accepting appointments, as are so many other clinics in Ottawa right now. Not even just this district, just all of Ottawa. Because in terms of walk-ins, well, because of the appointments, they are so backed up, they are at maximum capacity and they cannot take anymore. They don't have any onboard staff in terms of physicians for walk-ins, and the same goes for, emergency rooms are backed up to the max. Some people I know have been telling me that it's if I wanted to go to emerge at some points, it would be basically, well, this is common and most often, it's common to be backed up because of Canada's shitty healthcare system, and there's no prioritization of anything. But here they've been saying that it's 9 to 10 hour waits in emergency rooms, so basically a whole night-long wait right into the next day just to see an emergency doctor, which is terrible. But apparently, and I don't fully know if it's because of COVID right now. Obviously we're still in the pandemic, but at the beginning of my journey, when I was in Toronto, when I was leaving the city, the pandemic was at least in Canada, was in a downswing. It was dimming down somewhat, and basically, here, just one sec. Sorry, I just wanted to pass those people. It was simmering down somewhat. Obviously, it didn't mean it dissipated. The virus is still pandemic may finish at some point, but the virus will still be around. I'm gonna cross right here, just to the school. It's round. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, actually, diverging from that quickly somewhat. Here's what I was talking about. There's again, suburban fruit. There's just a fucking apple tree. Not even crab apples, just regular fucking apples. Right here. You know what, maybe I'll pick one of you tonight and eat you. I don't know. I don't know what kind of apples they are, but they're small, little, organic looking apples. See, some of the bug life is feeding off of them, so yep. Nice. And once again, this school has its main, as it says on the side, its official name is in French, and also conveniently is another Catholic school. There are a lot of Catholic schools around here. I actually don't think now that I'm actually stopping to think about it, I don't think out of all the educational facilities I've seen in the district, I don't think I've actually seen one non-religious one. That's, in my opinion, somewhat concerning. Anyway, it's École Élémentaire Catholique. That's the exact same name as the other one. And it's Noré Place. I don't know, again, if that's the right pronunciation. Maybe that's like a division, maybe they have separate schools for like specific programs. I don't know, but it's the same name. I think that's the same name, at least, from what I remember. Anyway, the pandemic was in a downswing before, basically, when I left. Okay, I'm gonna walk a bit faster. When I left Toronto, and the mask mandates were slowing down, at least again for the city of Toronto. And though obviously I'm not an anti-masker or an anti-vaxxer, I've been vaccinated for, which I've actually been meaning to get another shot to see, because it's, well, almost getting to about a year since I've had my 3 shots, the initial 2 and the booster. I want to see about getting another one here for immune support and stuff like that against it. But in terms of masks, I decided that I was more comfortable. Well, I was just comfortable enough dimming down my wearing of it, just in businesses and stuff like that, or in public, close to when I was leaving the city. And obviously, if the business mandates that you wear a mask, I don't see it as a big deal. In terms of people's rights, ethically, look, the business, I still feel, should have the right to mandate whatever they choose in terms of dress code. Even if that's problematic in some sense, it can be, yes, but it's still their right. And in some regards, such as a mask wearing, I don't think it's a big deal at all to follow that. And again, employees, either way, it's no excuse to make. Why did I cross here? I'm literally just pacing now. I'm trying to decide where to go. There's a park right there, which I didn't go to last time. There's also a park down that way. Why don't I just I can go to both. I'll go to both. That's a good option. Yeah, I'm just gonna jaywalk over here. Basically, it's no excuse, in my opinion, to treat employees like shit. If they're just enforcing the policy that isn't overly detrimental. Yes, there are policies of corporations and businesses that can be very detrimental. And I think morally, well, logically, that you should go against them or not take that job if they are like that. But for something in that regard, I do not think it is at all a major, infringement upon your rights for you to wear a mask. And also, it's bullshit. It's not an endangerment to your health. It's actually it can protect you, though it's more so to protect other people from your respiratory bacterium, the potentiality of you passing it on from your body to someone else. And that's why they also recommend other people wear it, so that they don't pass it on to you. And it's a whole system in that regard. But anyway, so either way, for that regard, I don't think at all it's an excuse to belittle and just berate employees trying to just simply enforce the policy. It is disgusting. I've had to deal with it during the major upswing of the pandemic at the beginning of 2020. I had to deal with it full force, working in retail, the idiocy and aggression of just belligerent morons who didn't understand. I shouldn't have scratched my face. Didn't understand medical science, and just didn't understand what I would regard as common human decency. Or just not even human, just being a genuinely pleasant person. Anyway, but now, again, I was in the woods for the last 3.5 to 4 months over the summer. So, Even though I was trying to keep up with world affairs as much as I could, well, kind of got lost, and I was discerning things for myself and just thinking a lot of my time and exploring stuff. So, yeah, and researching and all this, and again, going out, having my own little adventures. So, kind of lost touch with certain things. But, oh, that is a very pretty sky. That is a really pretty sky. God damn, I'm looking the opposite way just to see for cars. Anyway, so I don't know how much uptick there's been in severe COVID contractions and cases being contracted by people, and being admitted to the ICUs of hospitals, and like needing immediate intervention from infectious disease workers and like critical care workers. But basically, from what it seems, all I know is right now is that for whatever reason, whether it's COVID or because of other issues going on, clinics are backed the hell up, hospitals are overrun. It is most likely because of an upswing in COVID, but at least from what I'm logically thinking, and if I'm reasoning correctly, this is a neat design for pull-up bars. That's interesting. Like in this black and silver metal design. Oh, and it's a bit bendy. Nice. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm going to try some other methods with some people I know here in Ottawa to try and, well, no, now, to try and, well, it's another blacktailing the heritage of this place. The reasoning for it, I'm not going to read it right now. I'll read it on my own time at some other point. Actually, here, fucking, there. Pause the video if you want to read it. There you go. Anyway, so I'm going to try another method of getting in to see a general practitioner for a physical, and yeah, I'll see how that pans out. I'm going to explore this park for a sec. And then it looks similar to the one that's actually down there. Maybe it's by the same makers, or people that installed the actual playsets. Yeah, okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I just set up the tripod for a second because I just was walking around here, and I'm just going to quickly explain. I love swings. I really love swings. I've loved them since I was a little kid. If you know me, or at least you know me well enough, you probably would know that if it came up in conversation. But anyway, I love swings. I love them so much. I will never grow out of them. I don't care. I could fucking develop Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease tomorrow, the most severe form of dementia, and I guarantee some neurons in there would still like have the desire to swing. So, but I've always been afraid to jump off the swings. Yes, I know, I am a little bitch in regards to that. But no, today I'm breaking that fear, and I don't know why I'm filming this bit, but I am, whatever. Also, just occurred to me again that I have blisters on my feet, so this might not be the best idea, but we'll find out soon enough. God, I'm actually afraid. I'm still afraid. Okay. Ready? Oh God, this is gonna Not a good idea. Not a... Fuck. Oh god. Not a... Oh god. Not a good idea. Okay, one in front. One in front. Okay. Maybe lower the height a bit. The speed. My motion. And... I did it! I did it! I did it! I did it! I absolutely did it! I'm amazing. I am a god. Okay, yes, good. I conquered my greatest fear. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. No, yeah, I definitely didn't just, like, pseudo run off the friggin' swing. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. I gracefully jumped off and moved as quick as the flash and did a friggin' crazy backflip and just, yeah, I'm the world's greatest gymnast. There's no denying it. But I also saw this little doohickey here, and it spins. I thought these little things spin, these donut-looking things, but, well, this one obviously didn't spin. I thought this one that's lying on the ground was a little spinny thing, like a rotating, what is this shape? Well, it's like, it's not a sphere exactly. It's, topographers, tell me, I don't know. Yeah, it's a donut shape. I thought it spun, but it didn't. So, I'm gonna do this. Whee! Oh god. Oh my god, that actually doesn't feel good at all. Oh my lord, that doesn't feel nice. Oh god, that's... I was talking about the neurology of dizziness earlier. Neurological function of dizziness, that actually, well, there you go. It's not ataxia now, I'm just, well, I'm feeling dizzy. I'm gonna do it again. Whee. Oh, that wasn't good. Whee. Bye. Oh god, no. Tried to extend my arms, that didn't work. It's because of like the, oh, okay, that one actually triggered. Now, a bit of neurological lesson. That dizziness triggered medullary sense of nausea in the medulla oblongata. Okay. I'm gonna go the other way to get rid of the dizziness. Yeah. That didn't do much. Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. It's because of like the it's slightly ajar, it's not straight, like the pole here that it's, like the angle that it's in on, that the pole's in the ground at, is slightly ajar from being straight. It's more just slanted. Yeah, that was something. That was a part of this video, and that was something that I just wasted footage on. Well, that was a fun little side adventure. And it's getting later out. The moon is either waning or waxing. It looks like it's about like almost fully through waxing. Astronomers out there, tell me, astronomy experts, tell me what the hell that, if I'm correct about that. I don't know. I have no clue of reading the light. I have no clue of reading like the light projection from the moon to Earth. Yeah, I have no clue of how to read that at all. God, it is getting a little... Oh, well, the building's lit up now, the school. There is a bunch of Canadian geese flying. Can you see them? Yeah, you probably can. Whole flock of them flying towards what looked like... I don't know if that... Nah, that doesn't really... Those more like cirrus clouds, not like storm clouds. Yeah, okay. Something that I actually do want to really talk about, speaking, it actually kind of relates to fears, somewhat. not entirely, but well, I guess something that I'm actually, in terms of like, you could say, breaking fears. Sorry, this car's just pulling out of their driveway. In terms of breaking fears, and they're pulling into this driveway. Okay, hold on. Okay, that was an odd maneuver from that driver. I don't know why they didn't just turn that direction when going out of their driveway, but okay. I want to talk about recently. I'm very proud of myself for something, and it actually, I've kind of determined, it's given me one small answer, or seemingly a possible answer, to a piece of my, well, my whole philosophical and moral dilemmas of why I'm on this journey. It's given me one bit of, I guess, either evidence or a full-blown answer to questions I've had regarding, well, the existentialist bit of my whole dilemma. Basically, recently, because of how long, it actually relates to the length of these videos somewhat, how long they've actually been, with the amount of storage I have in my, well, camera capacity, I've had to delete certain things on my phone to actually free up storage for it. And I know you can buy like gigabytes and things like that, or extra storage packs, I believe they call it, from like cellular companies, but obviously I don't have the money for that. But basically, most of the apps I deleted, obviously I didn't delete any that I needed or that I wanted to keep. Stuff that I could have wanted, but nothing that I needed in the moment, or I overly cared that if they were gone, I wouldn't have overly cared about them being gone for now, because I can just re-download them for free, obviously. But the one thing, though, that I did hold a lot of care for was, I've talked about, I believe, in parts, I believe I mentioned it in my suicidality video and some of the before leaving the cottage videos, that I used to record audio diaries. A lot of them. I had a lot of them that I recorded, and kind of like these videos, many of them would go on for hours of me just ranting or talking about things I wanted to get off my chest, just for myself to hear. No one else ever heard them. It was just me, who had access to them, that I could play back and listen to. Not even always just play back, just, it was therapeutic for me to get it out. Thoughts that I had. Maybe it's because I had no one to talk to at the time about them. Or maybe it's because, maybe subconsciously I always did want to do something like YouTube, and I've stated the reasons of why I started this channel. But it was helpful for me. And I held a lot of, well, you shove it! Yeah, we get it. Squawk, squawk, squawk. You're all very excited to see each other. You're all having a big get-together in the friggin' pond. But could you zip it a little bit, please, and thank ya? Yeah. Okay, anyway. Oh yeah, and also, really just big fucking pond. The suburbs. I saw something similar to this years ago in, again, Fargo, USA. But, nothing to this, extent. But, anyway, so, back to the audio diaries. Sorry, just more people passing. Anyway. I held a lot of value to those audio diaries. I held a lot of, importance to them, I guess I would say. In many regards, I still do. I'm thankful for what it did for me in the moment, and having them stored on a recording app, and an audio recording app that I still have on my phone. And even I also mentioned, I believe in my, I mentioned in both the suicidal ideation video and also in bits of the Before Leaving the Cottage videos that that I have a will and last statement with me that I made years ago, but I've obviously revised it over the years. Yes, again, doesn't matter my age, in my opinion. I know people will say, you're 18, you have a will. People have told me, you have a will, you shouldn't have a will and last statement. What fucking age should you have it at then, huh? And I still think it's good for me to have it, even though right now I don't really care whether anyone really reads it or not. Again, because of my whole dilemmas that I'm in, everything that's happened, where I am now. But I still want it just for, well, obviously there are things that I'd like taken care of after I'm gone, but I think it's better to have, because again, you can die at any moment, at any time, in any place. Like, death doesn't discriminate to age. It doesn't. Humans sadly discriminate based on age. Death doesn't. But anyway, I held a lot of value, and one of the things in those, well, one of the things about those audio diaries, I put them in my will as well, and left them to certain people, which they still are. Sadly, one of the people who I've left that, and actually left my channel to, YouTube channel, was one of the people who, well, someone who betrayed my trust. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, so, right now at least. So, anyway, point being, I held a lot of, we're just entering another park. I held a lot of, again, I really cherished those audio diaries, in many regards. I didn't want anything happening to them. Obviously, if I would have been, originally, I would have been devastated if something had happened to those audio diaries, if they had been lost, deleted. Obviously, I logically felt that I would have been upset, but I know I would have been very upset, but even then I would have still known, well, I would have had to get over it. I mean, I would have, at the end of the day, I can be upset, which I still obviously feel if you cherish something, you can be upset about it. But, and if it really meant something to you, then you should be upset about it. But after a while, obviously you have to know that there's nothing you could, in many regards, depending on what it is, there's nothing you can do about it past the point of what happened. Well, it being deleted or gone, there's nothing more you can do, basically. So I would have had to deal with that. And I did. For certain things, obviously I dealt with that for other things that I've lost. Like over the last few months. Like, for example, many of you would probably notice that I no longer wear, and I briefly talked about this in my trying to swim across the lake video, which I'll talk about more in a different video of why it was such a shitty idea, that video, in my opinion. I think that was a terrible decision of mine. Again, if you have to do it, you do you, and try it if you feel you need to. I recommend that you don't, though. I had a stained glass eye, a black stained glass eye necklace of like a serpent's eye, or a snake's eye, which if you go back to my earliest videos and my skits and things like that, earlier videos, it was present in every single one, pretty much. I mentioned in the swimming across the lake video, or attempting to swim across the lake, is that I lost over the summer at the cottage. I lost that eye necklace. I don't fully know how. I can think of probably a few reasons. I could assume of how in certain regards. Like, I had it while I was going. Actually, yeah, I had it on me, on Timmy, my motorized bike, and then just I think actually, it might have been the day that I have to rewatch the footage. I think I have the necklace on me, on the last day that I had my motorized bike. So it might have been on me then, but then I think that day or a few days after, I lost it, and I'm going to assume I lost it out while driving, either on Timmy or on Trudy, my electric golf cart. I don't know how. It might have snapped off. The chain was coming loose a bit, as you could maybe see in some videos. It was getting shorter, as I had lost a bit of the chain a while before. And when I noticed I had lost it, I was upset about it. I wasn't crying or anything. I wasn't bawling, but I was I was hurt. I was upset because I had really loved that necklace. It was really nice. I liked, obviously, the look of it, and I obviously liked that its purpose just around my neck. It was just something that I had for a very long time that I really did love. But I obviously then, after just being a bit sad about it, I just said, okay, well, obviously there's nothing I can do about it. And it's a material thing that can be, in regards to replaced. I may not ever find the exact same one. And it wasn't expensive. Well, it wasn't expensive compared to most things, obviously, of that sort. It was, I think, it was like $3 at the Toronto Zoo. But, yeah, but I was still sad about it. But obviously I moved on from it. I didn't dwell on it, and I just... Obviously, I wasn't as concerned. Now, if something were to, say, happen to something like my channel here, I would be absolutely devastated by that. I have poured a lot of my heart and soul, or again, I don't believe in a soul, heart and consciousness, I poured my heart and mind into this channel. Now, obviously, with how my psychological state and everything is right now, I'd be devastated by it. I don't know what my reaction would be. But if I was in a logical and what I would consider sane state of mind, or stable state of mind, well, this whole ethical and just, well, my whole crisis of human existence and morals right now might deter me otherwise, or determine what I do for that. But if I was logically speaking, which I want to now, I would be crushed, devastated. I would be bawling my eyes out, crying. I absolutely would. But I would have to move on. I would realize that there was nothing I could do about it. Still be sad, but I know that there was nothing I could do about it. Maybe start another one, I don't know. Or maybe I wouldn't have the energy to. I don't know. Anyway, but back to what I'm proud of myself for, actually, is that those audio diaries, though I've left them to some people still, despite what some people have done to me in the past few weeks, I've still left them to people. I haven't bothered to edit my will or in any regard. I just don't care at the moment. But even so, just for myself, for the storage, I realized I cared more about doing this, and that I had to delete some of the audio diaries, like hours worth of ranting that I had done. And I'm really proud of myself for that, because in terms of, I've said in my analysis of my own personality, I'm more leaning histrionic tendencies. So caring about, I guess, again, caring about what others think of you, and that's in regard of histrionic tendencies. But I would also do that because if anyone, well, I guess maybe subconsciously, if anyone heard those audio diaries, just so they knew what I was trying to get across, what I was trying to talk about with how I was feeling at the time, and also if I was just talking about what I do here on this channel, concepts that I'm very interested in, and topics, that they would know what I was trying to say with them, or my ideas for them, or not wanting to be, I guess in my sense, not wanting to be an asshole to other people, or a terrible person, somewhat, or relates to it. But I was so happy in the last 2 days that I deleted them, and oh, damn, I think someone just scored a goal. I'm happy that, like, I deleted them, and I wasn't, like, wincing when I did them. I wasn't upset. And I wasn't I didn't hold them as such high importance anymore. Now, I think they were important as a part of my, like, character growth and, like, as a person, as part of my history, yes. But so it's funny. Recently, I saw an interview that one of my favorite YouTubers, Markiplier, did, or Mark Fishback. And he said in the interview, I believe it was with Logan Paul and his gang. Apparently, someone was once telling me, like, no, Logan Paul has changed his... He's, again, if I really feel people can actually change to a great extent. But people are telling me logically, oh, no, he's changed his personality. He's actually bettered his behavior. I'm not going to make a comment on that. I have no clue. Maybe he has, or at least maybe he's putting on a persona that he has, or I don't know. Logically speaking, for now, maybe he has. But specifically relating to Mark, he said, he was talking about the channel that he did with Ethan, Crank That Frank. No, not Crank That Frank. What am I talking about? That's music related. God, I'm forgetting Ethan's channel. Whatever the fuck, whatever Ethan's channel's name is. He said about how he did the para channel with him, Unisonis, which I thought was an incredible channel when it was around, and I'd followed it for as long as for most of its time when it was around, and watched the finale of it and everything. Basically, Mark talked about how Unisonis was it was so, I guess, empowering for him in a sense. Maybe empowering isn't exactly the right word, but more cathartic, I guess. Where he basically said, I'll quote exactly what he said. You can have, oh, that's a nice shot of the moon. Basically, you can have, as content creators, and I really just feel as people, sorry, I just thought someone was coming down the road. Yes, they are coming down the little path here. We're back under the grass. Basically that you can have, you as a person can basically you as a person can create something, be incredibly proud of it, and have worked incredibly hard on it. And obviously you deserve, in my opinion, recognition for your hard work, and if you're trying to make something beneficial out of it, and not just solely for your, well, not being completely self-obsessed with it, or trying to gratify your own selfish tendencies fully. Anyway, you can be super proud of it, and then just let it go. Basically, let it exist in the time that it was, or exist in, again. That's why I'm somewhat afraid of this. People have memory issues. People develop disorders and diseases that muddle with, my knowledge of neurology, muddle with their memories, cognition, psychological state. And there's psychological disorders that do the same thing. But in terms of healthy working memory, because obviously you can't anticipate something like that, but in healthy working memory, or in just archival, because technically, even if you delete something off of YouTube or a channel, I think YouTube even has, like, I believe archival footage, like an archival databank of some kind, where it stores, like, deleted informational data, like stuff that has been removed from the platform. Like, I think many social media platforms have an archival bank of some kind, but pointless. And also, well, that gets into iffy issues about which there's a lot of evidence for big corporations, especially the social media world, selling people's data. Tesla. Anyway. Where I'm going with this is, even so, that you can make something, be really happy about it, in terms of what Mark was saying as well. Me quoting him. And just letting it just fade away, basically. Letting it go into the spaces of reality that are no longer present with us. Just letting, in a healthy mind, or relatively healthy mind, with people's, hopefully, well enough intact cognition to remember such thing, or stories that are told about said thing, passed on through lineages and generations, or in the history of, say, a platform like YouTube, letting it just be in the remaining of what it is, basically. What remains of it is all there is now, but the memory of it and the impact that it had all that time ago will stay with you. Or stay with a group of people of some kind. That really hit hard for me listening to that, for what he said. And in most regards, I completely agree, though obviously, yes, I still think you have absolutely the right to be saddened by it. Like, well, not just legal right, social right. I think you should be saddened if you genuinely cared about something really passionately. It'd be sad for me, it'd be saddening to lose that. But well, anyway, back to my histrionic tendencies. Back to the audio diaries I recorded. I was so happy that I ultimately made the choice that I care more about uploading these videos, sharing these experiences with the world, and having them for myself, and also so that I can look back on these videos as well. I care more about these, and I did care about then the audio diaries now. Maybe in some senses because it replaced them, which it really didn't even do that, just compared to what those were. Entirely, at least. But letting myself know that after everything I've been through, even the last summer, ever since this trek up to Iqaluit, Nunavut, has now had begun. Or just not even that again. That's not even my end, like my for sure end destination. Just for now. Ever since this journey to help myself better understand the world, human nature, just because of my existential / morality crisis. Ever since this journey began, I don't feel the need for those audio diaries anymore. I feel like I'm able for myself to let them go and have them be what they were in the time that they were being used. Oh. Your flock is that way. You're going the wrong direction. Hey, actually, no, maybe that's a bit of a metaphor. Right there. You do you, little goose. If you have to go that way away from the flock to find your way back to them, by all means do so. Just don't hurt any other geese on your flight path. If you can help it. I'm just moving further into the park now. Everybody's gone. Yeah, I'm glad I could I'm glad I could let those audio diaries go. And hell, I may have to let more go, depending on how long this video is, depending on how long future videos are. May have to delete that whole recording app. Like, I don't know. So, in terms of that answering, or at least giving leeway evidence to something for my existential crisis, maybe that proves to me that in some regard, things can change on a small level. Now, even then, I'm not entirely happy about that, because people could tell me, or logically, I think, okay, well, if they can change on a small level, then they can change on a bigger level, because people have social systems and impacts everything, like one thing impacts the other. But again, I see a lot of how societies have formed and how things have mainly just gone to a more subtler form of bigger problems. If it can really only change on a small level, if it can only change in small fractions, then somebody else's life will have to be in misery for that, have to contribute to the miserable conglomerate of a bigger problem for that to only be, well, in existence, basically. For only things to change in small amounts, or only able to change in small amounts, and what we can control in that moment, well, then other people's lives will have to sadly, if this is true, sadly have to contribute to a bigger problem. And again, so that's only one possible answer now, is that maybe things can change on a small level. Whether I still, like I just said, I have still the questions of, can things change on a bigger level because of that knowledge, for more benefits, or it could only be for really worse in some regards? Is human nature really just sociopathic? Do people put on a face to hide more of their true characteristics just for their own benefit, or because they know they'll get some more benefactor out of it? Is art really worth it? Is it just talking? Is there any good from it? And are we just all going in circles basically to avoid our inevitable deaths? And is anything that we do to avoid that inevitable death, or in the time that we have before that inevitable death, really not just making our lives worse? This went on longer than I had intended. I'm going to see how much is here, and then I think I'm going to record a bit more while walking. So, yeah. Told you I'd wear it again. I was absolutely dead serious that I'm going to just wear this around. No, I think I'm going to end it there. Sorry if this one wasn't as interesting as the other two I made. I'll try to talk about more of what I wanted to... Well, I guess the thoughts I was thinking today and the ideas I just wanted to share in the next one. Or I'll just sit down to talk about them in their own separate videos. Even though I've been trying to avoid doing that entirely for this whole trek that I've been on. But we'll see. I don't know. But, yeah. Till next time. Yeah. Good night. Okay, this can't see it well at all. Still have the mask on, but I'm on the place, and they have this really cool, somewhat digital piano, wall placement here. So, as a sign off,